Hey now, what's going on, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I have decided to talk about this week's TV shows in one video. Let's see if that's easier, if that's better. Let's get this started. First things first, let's talk about Gotham. This past week, we saw, the beginnings of the partnership between Nigma and Penguin. You saw Nigma taking care of Penguin, helping him out with his injuries and whatnot. And Penguin wasn't really receptive at first. It took a while for him to eventually come around, and I guess they're going to start being killing partners together. Now, I'm interested. I'm definitely interested to see these two together, to see just how far they're going to go. Is Nigma actually going to help Penguin take down Galavan? Help take him down? It's also interesting because what's Nigma's status with the precinct? Does he still work there? Is anybody looking for Mrs. Kringle? Like, does anybody realize that she's fucking missing? I guess not. We get Tabitha. The whole plot of the episode is Tabitha hiring hitmen to kill Jim Gordon because she's incensed. She's enraged. Not that Gordon put Galavan behind bars. No. It's because he hurt Barbara. And Barbara is in critical condition now. So you see that Tabitha was actually, at least I don't know if in love is the right phrase, but she definitely had feelings for Barbara, so that was interesting. Seeing all of these different hitmen go after Gordon and go after even Michael Chiklis because they were all in the same group. And it was cool, especially because the whole point of this episode was seeing whether Gordon would cross the line, whether he was capable of crossing that line. And there was many times where he almost did, especially at the very end. And you almost didn't know which way it would go. Michael Chiklis, I liked him coming into the show, and I did like his character until they established how straight-laced his character was, how by the book his character was, because I don't really find it believable that somebody at his age, with his rank, and how long he's probably been in this whole situation, that he would still be like this, that he wouldn't realize why it does take tactics that Jim Gordon's taking to try to take down some of these people, unless he's just completely new to Gotham and doesn't realize just how fucked Gotham is. Although when he got injured, it was maybe refreshing for his character to hear him talk about the time where he was in the army and he killed somebody, like brutally killed them, and maybe that's why he has this one rule. Still, though, I appreciated what he was trying to get through to Gordon, and I think that helped Gordon at the end especially when he was fighting the cannibal guy, and he had the gun in his mouth. I also want to talk about Silver, who's the little wench that is trying to lure Bruce. I mean, the fact that she came in to his mansion and slipped him hotel keys. I'm sorry, but these characters are 14, maybe 15 years old, and that's giving them credit. I'm pretty sure they're like 14. Was she giving him her hotel keys to have sex? Like, what else were they going to do if he went over there? Right? I'm baffled. Maybe my mind is going to places that it shouldn't go, but I don't know what else was going to happen. And Bruce tried to go. Luckily, this time Alfred put his foot down and wouldn't let him do it because he realizes what's going on. And Bruce might be young and naive, but he's more so, his hormones are kicking in. So he sees a hot blonde. I guess you can't blame him, but I do like that Selena Kyle came in and she claims to have proof that Silver is evil. I don't know how she can have proof or what the proof is, but the fact that Selena won't give up, that she wants to stop Bruce from falling into this, it shows that she does care about him. She is trying to maybe repay all the messed up things that she did to him and said to him. So I like this. A pretty good episode, especially more so the Gordon stuff I thought was very strong. The fact that him and Lee are back on good terms, I'm very happy for that, because I was not looking forward to the possibility of them breaking up. Not at all. Let's move on to Supergirl, because we were supposed to get the Red Tornado episode. I was actually looking forward to it just by the pictures of how the villain looked. I wasn't too familiar with him from the comic books, and it looked like it was going to be some decent action, but they switched the schedules, I guess. I don't even know if we're ever going to see that episode because of the unfortunate events that happened in Paris. Maybe the episode, the plot was too familiar, too close to what's going on in the world. That sucks, but I can understand it. I do want to see the episode eventually at some point. But the episode that we got, I have to admit, it might have seemed like I was down on Supergirl so far. This was by far their best episode. This episode won me over. I want to talk about Leslie, aka Livewire. First of all, this actress I recognize from being on True Blood. Her character was interesting. She was a radio host who was kind of trashing on Supergirl. And I found it very interesting that Cat Grant was against her trashing Supergirl. Maybe something happened in the episode that we didn't see that brought Cat Grant to this point of how she feels about Supergirl. But she fires Leslie, at least from that position, and assigns her to to do the weather or something. And in the helicopter, it's out of control. Supergirl tries to save them, but they get struck by lightning. And thus, this is how she becomes Livewire. Livewire is a character, who knows how many people actually are aware of her or know her. I remember watching her in Superman the Animated Series back in the 90s. I kind of grew up on that. So Livewire was a character that I always liked, was familiar with. Seeing her in live action for the very first time was also a trip. I liked how she used her abilities, how she could sort of go into the light poles and the televisions, how she was communicating with people, and how she just appeared in front of Cat Grant and Kara. So I very much liked Livewire. Very cool villain that they put into this episode. Cat Grant, I have to bring her up again because I can't believe I'm saying this, I actually liked her or tolerated her. She wasn't annoying. She wasn't a bitch. She came across like a real fucking person. Imagine that. I can't picture that, but it's true. She was, the moment she had with Leslie while she was in the hospital, the moment she had with Kara when Kara told her about her parents dying, and she actually felt like she had some emotion behind her. Now, I'm sure you could say that they set up her character as being this cold-hearted bitch and being this cartoonish character to chip away at her, to eventually get her to the point where she was going to be more vulnerable and more likable. And okay, fine. I just think that there could have been a smarter way to do it, or we could have not made her so over the top at the beginning. But in any event, I like her now. Much better now. Also, we had Helen Slater as Kara's adopted mom, home for the holidays, for Thanksgiving. You could tell it was a week early. And that was fun, although I didn't really like how she was treating her daughter, Alex, how she was blaming her for everything, and I don't know, I don't think Alex deserved all the slack that she was getting, and I didn't like how that pressure made Alex be rude to Kara, or had her put some resentment towards Kara, because Kara doesn't deserve it. It's really coming from the mom. A lot of drama going on. Also, since we missed an episode, I guess James Olsen is back with Lucy Lane. They're just back together. We didn't see how they got back together or why they got back together, but they are back together. So, of course, Kara is still sort of pining for him, but she can't have him. And Win is right in front of her, like, hey, I like you. Too bad he doesn't get the hint that she doesn't like him back. She invited him over for Thanksgiving or a Friendsgiving. Yikes. This guy is, he's permanently in the friend zone. There's no escaping the friend zone, dude. I'm sorry. I feel for you. I do. It sucks. But learn to live with this. In any event, though, like I said, great episode. Really good episode. Hopefully it stays in this path. Now, let's talk about The Flash. Because, once again, The Flash has delivered. On all accounts, we see at the very beginning that Barry still can't walk. Or at least it looks like he still can't walk from the vicious beating that he took from Zoom. And he's in a wheelchair. Is that the same wheelchair that Harrison Wells had last season? It may be. Maybe not. But still, we eventually find out that it's not a physical thing. That Barry is fully physically recovered. He does kind of, sort of, maybe still have his powers. But it's a mental thing. He's been mentally broken. He has no courage left. He feels defenseless. The fact that Zoom did this in front of the city and just broke him down. And I liked that. I liked it was almost like a Batman getting his back broken by Bane situation. And I liked seeing Barry having to overcome this. The fact that Iris brought his dad in was cool as well. Although I still resent Barry's dad. I do. I get that Barry wasn't mad at him in this moment. We didn't get any type of like, why the fuck did you leave? I don't care that you're fishing. I don't care that you're going off and finding yourself. You should have fucking been here. Now, although I do like Joe West better as a father figure, so maybe if you're gonna have to make me choose, I would pick Joe West over Barry's real father. But still, it's just, I don't know how he can just show up here, find out that Barry almost died from Zoom, and then by the end of the episode, he just leaves. I don't understand. I don't understand what we're doing with the father character. Cisco goes on a date with Kendra, who he ends up vibing and finding out that she's Hawk Girl. Or at least he saw somebody with angel wings and he didn't know it was a girl at first. And he was trying to find out about it. By the end of the episode, I think he realizes it's her and that she is Hawk Girl. So that's rather interesting. But hell, is anybody else more impressed over the fact that Cisco was able to get Hawk Girl? Hey, she seems like she's into him. And he's pretty smooth with the chocolates and flowers and whatnot. Maybe we should all take some notes. Also, the actual plot of the episode was Gorilla Grodd being back. And I have to mention that the special effects for Grodd was perfect in this episode. It was great. You know, they don't always get it 100% right, I guess. But this, it was flawless. I don't know if it was. I was going to say it was because it was mostly at nighttime. But even the one scene where they were in daylight and you saw him mind-controlling Caitlin and following her, which is kind of comical that like a big giant ape is walking around in daylight and nobody saw anything. Or maybe they did, but it was just the way it looked was pretty hilarious. But I thought the effects were great. And then the whole connection that Caitlin had with Grodd, I thought was kind of weird. I mean, we don't know exactly what went on when Wells was experimenting on him and just how much maybe she took care of Grodd when he was an actual gorilla. So I'm sure there could be a connection there. It's just when you're at the point now when Grodd is as big as he is, as dangerous as he is, and he's killed as many people as he can, and he's as powerful as he is, mentally controlling you, I don't understand too much where she's coming from. But she's a nice person. She probably can't help it. I did like the fact or the point where Wells, Earth 2 Wells, pretended to be the Reverse Flash, put on the costume. First Barry attacked him once you just saw just Wells in the costume. It all brought back the anger. I like that moment. But just him trying to talk Grodd down was funny, especially since now, after all the memes of Curious George and the yellow man in the jacket, and that's kind of like what we have here with Reverse Flash and Grodd. But still, it was all interesting. By the end of it, you get them sending Grodd through a portal. And they successfully did it, which was cool, because sure, you don't want Grodd here in the city. I almost don't know how he was in the city all this time without there being a whole major craziness about it. But also, you have to think, wow, we're going to send him through this portal. Sucks to be those guys who end up getting Grodd in their world now, in their Earth. But let's not worry about that, because he's gone! Yay! The very last scene of Grodd being in that jungle kingdom, which, if anybody is familiar with the character, you know that's going to be his domain. He's going to take over. He's going to be the king. He's going to create the offspring of apes that are, it was exciting to see it, even if we never revisit Grodd on the show, which would suck, but still, that was a cool thing that they gave us with him. And last but not least, let's talk about Patty, because Patty, she's putting up with a lot with Barry. Now, I understand why Barry doesn't tell her the truth. You get it. At this point, too many people know about Barry's secret. And he hasn't been dating Patty all that long to tell her. I guess I just feel bad because Patty's such a good person. She's such a nice person. She means well. She's probably more perfect for Barry than Iris at this point. I want to see them together. I want to see him trust her. I don't want her to be upset and get pissed and leave him and have to go through all of that. So I kind of just wanted Barry to tell her. But maybe it would have been too soon. Who knows? Hopefully she sticks around. But again, enjoyed the episode. Now we're going to talk about Arrow. Because I just got done watching Arrow. And this episode I liked a lot as well. I have to mention how in the very first scene, when you see them go after the group of thugs at the beginning, seeing Laurel's Black Canary scream bothers me. I think I brought this up a couple of times before, but there's just something awkward about it. When Katie Cassidy is just on top of something and she's screaming, but like, you could tell the sound isn't genuine. You could tell the sound's probably added in post. So when she's doing it, it's like quiet, and I don't know. We have to do something about this. Maybe it's like on Smallville when they brought in Black Canary. She had physically the powers, so that was a little different. But they created a CGI effect to where like vibrations came out of her mouth, and it looked really cool. It was awesome, I thought. This isn't that. It's technology based. I get it. Maybe if we had some type of vibration effect from that equipment, I don't know. I just don't really like how it looks when she does it. I'm sorry, Laurel. But the whole plot was about Diggle's brother, and the fact that Diggle's brother's still alive after 8 years. This is something that's been a part of Diggle for the longest time, that his brother died and that he was hell-bent on getting who did it. And now this changes everything. This was a very Diggle-centric episode, and I liked it for that. You know, Diggle, the actor, David Ramsey, he's a great actor, and you almost felt like there were periods of time where the show didn't do a lot with him. But now they're better with it. Now they are doing a lot with him. And I like that. And it was interesting to see the point of view where he was coming from with his brother. You had Oliver as the one who was defending his brother, and Diggle was the one saying, no, he's too gone. He's too far gone. I can't forgive him. He's done all these heinous things. He's now under Dark's influence, and I still can't forgive that. It was pretty heavy. And you understood both of their point of view. And the fact that, like, when Dark went to Oliver, who's running for mayor, and Dark offered his approval or his backing. And of course Oliver at first was against it, but when he was against it, I thought, well, why not? We've already seen that Lance has lost Dark's trust, and you don't want Lance to get hurt by that. So why not try a different avenue? And then he did start to think about it. He was talking to Felicity, and she immediately shut that idea down. As much as I've liked Felicity in the past, for some reason these last couple episodes, it's just that she's so confrontational with Oliver. She's so completely opposite of what he is thinking. She's like, no, you're wrong. This is how it should be done. And even in this case where she's right, I still was annoyed by it. I still was like, can't you just support him once? It wasn't until Diggle said that Oliver was wrong that it made more sense, because Diggle has a better way of saying it. I don't know. Diggle just he comes off better, I guess. But let's talk about Thea's bloodlust coming back. Now, I liked what Malcolm was doing. Again, I'm almost complete opposite tonight. I understood what Malcolm was doing. I thought he was kind of doing the right thing, where he wants to subside her bloodlust by getting her to kill people who deserve it. I know Batman would disagree, but if you tell me that this guy is a pedophile, child molester, or if you have proof that he's killed so many people, okay, I'll subside my bloodlust and kill this guy. She doesn't, though. She goes against it. And because she's dating Oliver's campaign manager, I still don't know how I feel about that. The scene where he gets a phone call, walks up and leaves, and then some random fucking old guy comes up to her. How creepy was that? Like, how old is Thea? And this guy, like, gray hair, is like, hey, baby. Like, no wonder she beat his ass. I'm pretty sure she would have beat his ass even if she didn't have the bloodlust. Okay, she went a little bit too far, but still, I kind of found that amusing. The guy deserved it. She's going to try to figure out what Dark did to her. Like, he tried to suck her life out, I guess. He can do that, I guess. But it didn't work on her. It just took some of her bloodlust away. She's going to try to figure that out. We'll see where that goes. I did like also Ray Palmer. Him helping them out, sure. But more so when he came in as the Atom, physically helped them out. And that gave him some purpose, because he's down on himself. I'm sure coming back from the dead, which at this point, how many characters have come back from a false death? Too much to count. But he's realizing that his life hasn't really meant as much as you'd think. It almost makes you want to sit back and wonder what would happen, how would people react, what would it be like if you died and came back, and see if things were better or worse. So I get where he's coming from, but at least him crime fighting got him back in a better spirits, better mood. So yeah, great episode. I liked it. They were showing previews of the crossover event, but they said in December. Does that mean we're not getting an episode for like 2 weeks? Fuck, don't tell me that. That would suck. But if it's true, then hey, at least we're coming back with a pretty damn good crossover event. I cannot wait for that. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of each and every one of these shows, or the ones you're watching. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!